for almost 2 weeks, or maybe 2 weeks, and there's been a lot going on. Just really, really busy. We've got craft fairs coming in July, craft fairs coming in August, craft fairs coming in the fall, with potential of more craft fairs, which is all good news. It's just kept us really, really busy. And then there's our gardening. We've been working on it, and we've got some things to share with you. But in the last 4 days, including today, we volunteered. Volunteers in air quotes, and I hate air quotes, but I'm putting it in air quotes because volunteers are really a loose term of what we did. So you have to do 3 different things, but we gladly did it for church. It was a volunteer service. There was they need people to do things, so we worked with some of the young girls in the area. Last night we cleaned the church. Today we had to do some things, so it
was our pleasure to do some things.
It was our pleasure to do some things. We're happy to serve wherever we can. We just stink at it is the problem. So we're giving it our best shot. So anyways, so with all the crafting and those things, 2 out of 3 of those things needed a lot of intense pre-work. We had to get I guess you call it preparation. How do you like that? Preparation. So anyways, but before we get too much into the rest of the video, I'm going to show you something. I saw this online, and we decided to give it a try. It was a thing for a place called Grove Collaborative, and they do mostly natural to all natural products. And not very often, just a handful of times a year. I don't know how often because I'm really new to this. They do a promotion where they'll give you several Mrs. Meyer's products free with your order. And it is a monthly service, but you can stop it at any time. You can pass over a month. If you don't need anything that month, you just pass it over. But that way you get this stuff delivered to your door. Again, it's all mostly to all natural stuff. The Mrs. Meyer's stuff is in it, but we ordered all of this as a promotional thing and paid under 30 bucks for it. And so in it, you get the natural 7th generation, no fragrance, no dyes, no chlorine bleach for dishwashers. You get the Method antibacterial bathroom cleaner. This is spearmint. We didn't get to choose a flavor, but spearmint will probably smell good. Anyways, so, and I've used Method before. I love it. The grapefruit, though, is a really good smell. If you like a good, clean citrus smell, that's the one I like of Method. And we got a 7th generation facial tissue, a peppermint bar soap made with organic coconut and olive oils. We get a walnut and cellulose scrubber sponge, which I'm really not a sponge fan because they retain so many germs that you really can only use them about 3 times before they're useless, but we're going to give it a whirl anyways. I really don't like sponges, but we're going to try it.
But if any of you know how to disinfect sponges or how to clean them, then let us know.
Yeah, they are such germ grabbers, so
yes,
they really aren't healthy for you, but we're going to use them anyways. Then we got this microfiber all-purpose cloth. Also have Mrs. Meyer's lemon verbena multi-surface cleaner, which we have had before. Inez gave us some with a whole kit of Mrs. Meyer's things. So we knew we liked Mrs. Meyer's, which was one of the reasons we went ahead and got this, because we already knew we liked it from what Inez had given us. We have Mrs. Meyer's dish soap. And, whoops, knock it over. We have Mrs. Meyer's hand soap made with olive oil and aloe vera, so that ought to be nice and smoothing. And we have Method 4 times concentrated laundry detergent. We've got a glass bottle, spray bottle. And then they sent us some concentrates that I think is their own brand. It says Grove Collaborative on it. And you put one of these in the bottle and fill it up with water. And they're like I said, they're concentrate. They're an orange rosemary smell. This is an all-purpose cleaner, and we got 2 of these. This is a glass cleaner, and we got 1 of these. So we're excited to try that. I have no idea. I can't recommend the company one way or another, but I can tell you this: they have been really already all over this thing. We have a personal representative. He texted me actually, or emailed me something, gave me his cell number, told me to text him anytime. That's what he's there for, is to answer our questions, to be our personal shopper. And the place has 5 stars reviews. I looked it up before we even got into this because I'm always leery of getting involved in something like this. But it had 5 stars. People love this. So I think it's grove.co, not com, for Grove Collaborative. Check that on your own. But if they still have this going on, we've only had this stuff for a week or two, so it may still, this deal may still be going on. Go see if it's something you're interested in. We can't, like I say, I can't recommend it. We have tried Mrs. Myers. We haven't tried all these other things, though I have tried Method before. But I haven't tried this service before. We're gonna give it a whirl and see how we like it. So that's that. The other thing we have going on is we are right now in a fire zone. There is a fire burning on the big mountain that we see out our front door, and we've showed it to you before in pictures. And burning the mountain. We are on standby right now in case we have to start evacuating. There was a couple of days ago, that it didn't look good, and the fire was on the mountain, at the top of the mountain above us.
And we could see the flames.
And we could see the flames. In fact, we've seen the flames the last 2 nights, but last night was better than the night before. We have a bag packed, and if we have to go, we'll go. But things have turned. The biggest problem is, well, 2 big problems: wind, and we need rain. I mean, this place is praying like crazy for rain. We are desperate for it. And it's not just us who's on fire. I think the West Coast is just covered in wildfires and need a lot of rain. So keep us in your prayers. But they have brought in national teams. It's not even in the locals' hands anymore. It is a national team. Type 2. I don't know what all that means. These are things I'm just learning from being in a fire zone. But they're up there. They had one good day where they were able to do a lot of aerial tankers with retardant and water, and they made a lot of progress. Last I heard, it's 0% contained though, and we don't want it coming towards us, but in doing that, I also don't want it to go towards somebody else. I don't want to save us to hurt someone else. I just want it to go away. So we're hoping that we stay as good as we are, and that the other communities stay as good as they are. And our garden situation is still ugly. We are growing nothing so far. I hope the things that are cut ground, like carrots and potatoes, are growing, and we won't know though probably till August or September how well they're doing. But we have hope for them, and that's why we keep watering. It's also possible, I learned last year, that you can get a second sprouting of those, or second blossoming of your vegetables, because we'd have some of them sprouted early. By this time we started to already see fruits of our labors, I guess, or vegetables of our labor, so to speak. But then we had a second crop come from it. I'm hoping that happens. We have done everything we can think of to get rid of grasshoppers. We have been mean to them. We have put down the poison, which I really don't like to do, but we had to do something.
But not on our garden.
Not on our garden.
Just around it.
Just around it. We have done everything we can think of to get rid of them. They're just back there bathing in it pretty much, and so we actually have started feeding them. We put out spinach leaves around the garden. Maybe we can divert them from the garden by feeding them. I think they're probably inviting people because they think it's a buffet. Not people, but other insect people, because they think it's a buffet now.
And they're still all over the place.
They're all over the place. So I don't know what this garden is going to do. We're kind of losing hope, but I want to hold on a little longer, just because I know there's got to be something working in the ground with the potatoes and carrots and onions, and we may be able to get a second sprouting coming, because we did last year. With the peas, we got another second wind, I guess, on them, and we still had zucchini and melons coming into September, towards the end of September, so I haven't given up all hope, just most of the hope. So there's that too. So that's what we've been doing. We're still getting ready for the craft fairs and keeping our bags packed. Right now I have to move my suitcase off my bed every night so I can get in my bed, and we keep the phone by us in case we get one of those 911 emergency things. It's a reverse 911 where they call you and tell you get out, but we'd have a good half hour to an hour to get out if it happened, but right now it doesn't look like that. So keep us in your prayers. Thanks for watching. Sorry we've been AWOL, probably will be again, but we'll get back to you with some further updates down the road.
And we're going to include a few videos of the fire and of our garden.
Yes.
Right after this.
Yes. So, and we have pictures and video.
We're still trying to save our garden. We're out here watering. We put out some grasshopper bait to see if we could get rid of the grasshoppers. You know, Edie and I are both really strong believers in you leave God's creatures alone, but we do have a couple of exceptions. Don't come in my house, don't even try to come into my house, and stay out of my garden. Anyway, we put some grasshopper bait around the perimeter of the garden, and it's supposed to get rid of the grasshoppers, so we'll wait and see. These are our peas that, as you can tell, are not doing so swell. And I know we've mentioned this before, but they've even eaten every single marigold plant that we planted that is supposed to repel pests and rabbits and stuff. So
we're praying for rain, because as soon as the rain comes, the grasshoppers will go. It'll put a fungus in the ground. That rain builds a fungus, from what I understand, that kills all the grasshoppers and their eggs. So pray for rain. We're in a horrible drought, and that's all we need is a good rain.
We know that, well, we don't know if we're going to be able to save our garden this year. But we're trying the grasshopper bait, and then I had a suggestion from a dear friend of mine, and if the bait doesn't work, we'll try that one. We're not giving up yet, but gosh, this has been really frustrating, really discouraging, but we're going to keep trying, and just stick with us for more updates. We'll let you know what's going on. So we came out to water what we hope will be a garden one day, if the grasshoppers will stay away. But thought I'd just give you an update on the fire. This is what's over our garden. And you can see it's coming over the mountain. And it's, oh look, there's that red sun.
There's been all sorts of emergency vehicles going through town, so that's good.
Yeah, we just hope they can contain it, control it and contain it before it comes over the mountain.
Well, it's come over the mountain before, and they've still managed to get it out.
They did have to evacuate the town, but
well, they tried. Not very many people went.
Well, yes, some of the old timers said, nope, not leaving.
Nope.
So anyway, that's what we're, like I said before, we thought our biggest worry was our garden. No, but you know,
well, this
it could be worse.
Every year.
On a more positive note, can you see the little pears that we have growing on our tree? There aren't a lot of them. There's another one back in there behind the leaves. And there's one back there. It's hard to see with all the leaves in the way. But even if our garden doesn't produce, we will get some fruit from our trees. These are our pears. And those are apples. Can you see all those apples on that tree? I think we're going to have a lot of apples. And this isn't the only apple tree back here. So, like I said, more positive note. On another update, the fire is much better. It looks so much better. This is the mountain. Last night we could see the flames off the mountain. Yeah. And this morning the wind isn't blowing. I actually heard, yeah, we've had lots of prayers. The wind was blowing so hard the last couple of days that they couldn't even bring the airplanes in to do flyovers with the repellent. And I heard some planes this morning, so I'm hoping that it's getting under control and we won't have to evacuate.
Yeah, they told us right now we're okay, but if it changes course, we are under a voluntary evacuation. So hopefully it won't come to that, but it looks better to us with our limited fire knowledge.
Yes. And so that's the garden and the fire update.